Um, Obviously went behind to an early goal again this evening, which seems to be a sort of regular occurrence at the minute, and it really doesn't help any game planning. We're forever chasing games. Obviously got back into it through Ruben Neves. Finally gets into the box and scores inside the box, which obviously we're not used to. And look, I'm only telling you what's happened really. A disappointing defeat in the end. I thought, however, if that's how you pronounce it, I thought he had a decent game, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what, he's played well tonight, and as soon as I thought that, then he started giving the ball away. I think Silva, he once again started off very, very brightly, and, I almost fancied him for the goal tonight, but it wasn't to be. Frustrating. But we go again. Keep tuning into the amazing work that Talking Wolves are doing. And over and out.
So I guess that means we can all go back to being miserable. Wolves 1, Everton 2. Another defeat for us in the Premier League, and pretty much normal service resumed in terms of domestic competitions this season. Not too bad of a game, to be honest. I thought that the defeat was undeserved, although we did have a shocking start. 5 minutes in, I think, and it was Alex Iwobi who got a really good goal, to be fair to him, but yet again the defending just far too passive. No sort of proactive decision making is being made in terms of defensive standpoint. Tim Spears brought it up as well. There's so many times this season where teams get in and around us and players are far too reactive instead of proactive, and they wait for things to be made. They're far too passive. They don't attack the ball vigorously enough. They don't close people down. It's so poor, and we were good after we went behind, which is another frustrating thing. Why does it sort of take for us to go behind and then we sort of get into gear? But we got into gear well, we equalised well, really good play from Ait-Nouri and a really good finish from Neves, who I thought had another good game today. I think on another day he probably could have got a hat-trick with 2 efforts in the second half, almost going in. First off, though, was a very end-to-end game. I think it sort of petered out towards the last 10-15 minutes. I thought that defensively on the whole, after the goal, we were okay, if a little bit shaky at some points. I thought that the midfield was pretty solid today. I thought Dendoncker, probably one of his quieter performances, didn't really have the impact that he could have, missed a couple of chances. And Fabio Silva up front really struggled today, I think. His movement, again, getting in positions was good, but his passing and his overall effect on the game was just almost non-existent, really. I think that Catrone should have started. Gibbs-White on the wing, he was decent. He always got his head up, looked forward for a pass, was driving forward direct. I think he just needs to improve his passing a little bit. But yeah, he was a decent little bright spark, and Pedro Neto again was just brilliant throughout most of the game. He was the bright spark causing all the problems. But my biggest issue with this is the second half. It was just absolutely atrocious. We're waiting far too long to bring on substitutes in the second half. Why are we waiting until 5 minutes to go when we're 2-1 down to bring Vitinha on? To me, it doesn't make any sense. The same thing with Catrone as well. I think he should have started the game. Brings him on with 15 minutes to go. We're already behind and we can barely get into the game. Hoover on at right wing. We've got Shabani on the bench. We've got Corbianu on the bench. Why are we not bringing on these young players that Nuno tells us in every press conference that he trusts? He says the solutions are in the squad. Well, why don't we use them? Hoover is not a right winger. I'm sorry, he's not. He's a right back or a right wing back. He's not a right winger. So my biggest frustration, sort of pet peeve with this, is the late substitutions, the lack of being proactive. We said the defence is not proactive enough. Nuno isn't proactive enough at points, and he certainly wasn't in today's game. And it's that quote, isn't it? It's like the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And that's what it sort of feels like, really. Although we didn't play particularly badly today, just far too reactive. We make the changes when we were a goal down instead of when we are level and we could go for the game. And I think we just sat back a little bit in the second half, and the game really petered out. And I said to one of my friends, if they score, I can't see us scoring again, because we just didn't really look like getting a goal, and that was the case. So disappointing one today, but we got West Brom I really, really hope we beat. As long as we beat West Brom, I think a lot of us will feel a lot better. But I tell you what, if that game doesn't go to plan, then I don't even want to imagine what Twitter's going to be like. So hopefully we can improve for that game. God help us all.
Yeah, tough game that. Really tough game. Very, very, very close game. And very end-to-end. Wolves were pushing, then Everton were pushing. It was a very close game. Everyone was giving it a good go. I think that was just the problem. It was just a very close game. And when things are that close, it's just luck on who's going to get that goal. I think we had our chances. Neves' free kick, hit the post. I couldn't believe that when I saw that. Everton, they played well. I got to give it to them. I think we definitely at least deserved a point on that. I think a draw would have been fair because we were both very even. Wolves, they gave the two goals, very silly goals. Gave them both away. We got to improve defensively. Obviously attacking as well. We didn't really have many chances at goal. Brilliant goal from Neves. Neves' first ever goal, I think, inside the box. That's not like a penalty or something. Unbelievable stat. To think that he's never scored inside the box. But yeah, I can't. It's gutting. It's a bit annoying that we're so close. We deserved a bit more, but these things happen. We move on to the next one, West Brom. Oof.
The funny thing about tonight, Alex Iwobi is my countryman. He doesn't score too many goals, but against my team, he scores. Honestly, I'm short of words. It's becoming too frustrating watching a Wolverhampton Wanderers game. First of all, I blame the board. Now, Wolves have finished 7th for the past 2 seasons. And then, guess what? We have the 17th lowest wage. And I was talking to, a trusted source, and he was telling me that Costa can't come to Wolves because of, they don't want to disbalance our wage bracket. Look, if Fosu is not ready to invest in our club, then he can out. He can leave. Look, you can't keep getting away with things like this. Every season we go into the Premier League having the thinnest squad, expecting to, some way scale through it. Look, I watched Sheffield's game today. They are bottom of the table. They have a better squad depth than we. We're in a relegation battle. Pedro Neto probably injured. Adama Traore out. Daniel Pondes out. Who are we going to play on the flanks next? John Rudy? I won't be surprised. Look, the board. If they're not ready to invest in that team, they should leave for better investors to come. They should leave. We came 7th for the past 2 seasons. Why do we have such a top wage bracket? And they are saying we can't sign Diego Costa, we can't sign players. It's up, honestly. It's becoming so unbearable to watch Wolverhampton Wanderers. But look, on the bright side, this is not bright. I can't even think of any bright side. Look, keep watching Talking Wolves, and good night.
Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Everton 2 in another shocking result, again at home, where we still can't pick up a result. The fact we've won, I think it's 2 games at home. I haven't done my research properly, but 2 games at home all season is not good. Negative tactics, negative mentality, just everything was negative about that. But it started so well. I mean, before the goal, after the goal, we woke up. I mean, what were we doing for the first goal? Who is watching the run of Iwobi? But after that, we actually showed a bit of intensity and we actually attacked at them. The times we attacked at them, we caused them a lot of problems. I mean, Nori did very, very well in that first half. I thought Gibbs White had a couple of decent first touches. And you thought, if we carry that on into the second half, we could get something. These are there for the taking. I mean, based on how we played in that first half. Second half, I don't know what was said, but we just looked worse. We let them get back into the game a little bit too easily. And it all went wrong as soon as Nuno decided to take off Gibbs White, who wasn't exactly our best player on the pitch, but he wasn't exactly horrendous. For Aït-Nouri to play, Hoover as a right mid. He is not a right mid. He is a right back. And he's out of position. I mean, I get we've got no options on the bench, but why not give one of the kids a chance? I mean, he couldn't exactly have been any worse than what Juve was, but again, 18 goals we've conceded in the last 10 games. We don't look like winning any football matches, and the performances are not even getting better. When are people going to look at it and think Nuno has to go? For me, if we get anything less than a win against West Brom, he's gone. He has to go off that. Because it's another performance where, it's a lot of positives to take, but it's another game where we've not won. I mean, everyone can talk about the Cup. The Cup is irrelevant in comparison to the Premier League. The Cup is a one-off game. The league shows you consistent form, and our consistent form has been crap. We do not look like going forward. If anything, we're still going backwards and we're still dropping down the table. When are people going to start to look at this and think Nuno might not be the man? I mean, let's not forget this. We've got all the injuries in the world, but let's not forget Everton didn't have their star striker, Calvert-Lewin. We didn't have it. We've got injuries as well, but it's the same for every single team. There is only so many weeks that you can use that as an excuse, especially when you lead games as well or are drawing. Injuries do not help. Do not correlate to that. Correlate to individual performances. But again, it's absolutely poor. And it's if we don't beat Albion, then he's gone in my eyes. But anyway, cheers for having me on Talking Wolves. And hopefully I'll be talking to you when we do them. Cheers, guys.
Right, another game, another loss. Starting to get to the point of unacceptable now. That's 8 losses this season. We have 22 points. And we're 14th in the table, 3 points above Newcastle. I'm not Nuno out, but if he loses to Albion, then something has to change at this club. This is starting to become beyond unacceptable, like I said. Commentators always say, we're only 2 points worse off than we were last season, but I don't remember last season being this bad. Even at the start when we were struggling like mad, I don't remember last season being this dire. You know, we've now changed. We seem to be playing better first half and just completely switching off second half. Everton, they score so many headers, and Michael Keane's got 4 goals this season. Mina's got a few, and we're not picking up the danger men. This one of our biggest problems. Like the first goal, who's left Semedo on his own? We know what a liability is when he's been left on his own, and I think it was Cody's been pulled across and Semedo's on his own in a 2-on-1 situation. I know the finish was lucky. I didn't expect Iwobi to score it of all people, but we can't be doing that to each other, man. We're creating our own mistakes, and it's so irritating to watch because it's goals we shouldn't concede. We're now not a clean sheet team. I don't know how many clean sheets we've actually kept this season, but it is not many. We're conceding lots of goals. We're not scoring, and we're losing on top of that. It's just incredibly frustrating, and like I said, if we do somehow lose to West Brom, then some serious questions need to be asked. I know we haven't got our full strength team, and if we did have Jimenez and Johnny and Podence, then it might have been a different game completely, but Neto wasn't up for it today, man. I thought Nuri was good in spells. He needs to learn to control his touch because I panic sometimes when he's on the ball. I thought Semedo and Donk were really good, and Neves was obviously brilliant once again. One of the only positive things we can take away from this goal is that Ruben Neves is looking like his best. But again, we're just so... I don't know what it is with Nuno. Why are you leaving, until 13 minutes left? Fabio Silva, who did not have a great game whatsoever, was left on for 77 minutes, and we've got Patrick Catrone, who is eager to come on and wants to play. And we're starting Gibbs White. He can't connect a 3-yard pass. It's so aggravating. I thought it might have been one of our strongest lineups with what we have available. I don't know, Otasawi, he had a great game against Chelsea, didn't play well the next game. He missed a header against... I can't even remember who it was now. I'm so angry to think. And he's not allowed to come on anymore? I just don't get it, man. He looks decent when he plays. He passes the ball forward and gets us to where we need to be. It's just so negative all the time, backwards football, and we're dropping too many points now. We're dropping too many points.
Evening Talking Wolves. Well, that was a tough one to take. I knew it was going to be a tough night for us. Look, depleted in every part of the pitch nearly. I think we're definitely missing Bolly, especially for their second goal. I thought we're definitely missing a bit more presence in the air. I thought Silva did well considering not playing his natural position. Neto always looks like he's going to produce something, but I just think he was the only player on the pitch today that you thought was actually going to be of a decent threat. I thought Aït-Nouri had a fairly good game, lost his man a few times, and him and Semedo need to be tighter. There was too many balls going over the top, and they just need to be tighter to stop that from happening. I thought Neves had a good game. Moutinho, Mr. Reliable. But again, no killer instinct, it seems, when we were bossing parts of that game. And then a bit of quality from Gomez, and we lose the game 2-1. So, 5 or 6 players out, all those players will probably get in the starting 11. So, still think we need some help, really, while we wait for those players to come back. But I guess we'll see. Cheers.